I'm so happy to hear that you're able to go on that trip to Hawaii on that date. The fact that we're all going to be able to go on this trip as a family is just wonderful, and I'm really looking forward to it. But Grant, is this really going to be okay? Doesn't Sandy just want this trip to be for the two of you instead of all of us? I'm sure that she does want it to be only us going. But I think she'll be able to understand why I want all of us going. Also, this time is a little different than most other trips, right? This time, I'm trying to bring Mom back out with us, and so the whole point is to spend family time with everyone. Sandy just mentioned that she wanted to come on this trip as well with everyone else. So that's why she's coming along. Her and I already went on one really expensive trip as well last year. So I doubt this will bother her any. Is that right? Well, as long as this is alright with you, then I feel alright about coming. I'm the one paying for the whole trip this time, so she really doesn't even get a say in the end on it. I heard about all of that from Mom already, and I feel bad. Can you at least let me pay for the flights or something like that? Well, I'd really like to pay for everything from start to finish this time around, okay? I'm asking you to please let me handle all the bills on this vacation, and for you and everyone else to just enjoy it. I suppose I'll have to then. I'd really love to at least put a little money into the trip, but I understand what you want. If you really don't want anyone else putting any money into this, then I'll have to respect that. Thank you, Grant. I'll really be looking forward to taking off on that trip soon.
All of you really need to get a hold of yourselves. What makes you think you could just butt into this vacation that was meant for the two of us? I can't even believe why you both think it's fine to even sit down for meals with us and order off our bill. Making my husband pay for everything like this is an all expenses paid kind of deal. Kent, is this the kind of behavior you think an older brother should have?
Excuse me? What are you going on about all of a sudden? Grant said that he was willing and wanting to pay for everything on this trip, so I'm only respecting his word on that. So can you tell me why something between him and his family has you all up in arms now?
I'm even more surprised about the fact that he even let the two of you on this trip in the first place with us. And when we went out for this first dinner, I thought at the very least you or your mom would be willing to pay for all our meals as a thank you for letting you come out to Hawaii with us. I really did think that one of you two, or the both of you, would be paying, and that's why I ordered all those expensive appetizers and drinks, but I was wrong. Why is Grant the only one that has to pay for everything?
It's not that he has to pay for any of us, actually. He told both myself and our mom that he wants to be the one to pay for everything. So we're letting him do as he asked. And what do you mean you ordered all those expensive dishes and drinks when you thought it'd be us paying? That's a little bit... well, it just doesn't sound very nice of you.
Why wouldn't I order all the most expensive things when I don't even have to pay? What's so wrong about that, Kent? And as for you two, that restaurant wasn't cheap. So you both did the same thing by coming along and even ordering anything there, all because my husband is a lawyer, right? You think you can use him as your wallet or something? Is this due to the two of you being absolutely moneyless and that's why you need to leech off my husband?
What are you talking about?
I even heard that Grant's having to pay for the plane tickets and the hotels. Am I right? Does that not seem messed up to you? Do you poor people plan to keep on living off my husband like parasites when we get back home as well?
Sandy, are you drunk or something? There can't be any other reason for you saying such rude things about all of us, right? No, I think that it'd be best for you if you just calm down a little bit and come back to me when you've had a little time to think.
You think I can just calm down while something like this is going on with my husband's money? I know that both you and your mom are planning on using up even more of my husband's money even after this vacation, right? You actually think I'm just going to let the two of you poor losers live on Grant's income like that?
Huh? The only reason we're on this trip with you both right now is because Grant invited the two of us, so we accepted his invite. Yet, you're going to become this upset over something as simple as that?
An invitation, huh? I know that the two of you forced him to bring you guys along. And since Grant is the kindest man I know, he couldn't say no to you both forcing that idea on him. I know that in reality this trip was just meant to be for the two of us to enjoy more time together alone. Well, if you both think that you can keep on using up my husband's and my money, you're wrong.
Sandy, neither my mom nor I plan to use any more of your guys' money than Grant is allowing. And the reason for this current trip is that Grant wanted all of his family together while we enjoy the beautiful islands of Hawaii. So both my mom and I followed along in his plan and joined him on this very generous vacation. So I'd like for you to stop taking jabs at the two of us when we've done nothing wrong.
You both are using up our money to live like you're royalty here, you parasites.
You're taking things way too far here.
I'm only telling the truth, right? If I'd known that you and your mom would end up latching onto my husband like this and leeching off everything we've worked so hard for, I would have never married him. I had thought that I won the lottery by finding a man who loves me, who also turned out to be a lawyer and would bless me with a life full of money and wonders. I at least expected that we'd be able to save up a lot of money and go on a bunch of exotic vacations together. After all, right after marriage, he was forcing me to save up a bunch of his money instead of spending it all on the really nice brands I wanted. I thought that money would be going to something like a really huge surprise trip for me or something like that. But now I'm left wondering why he's brought both of his moneyless family members along with him, and it's starting to drive me nuts. I have no idea what's even going on here now.
My family has always been a group of pretty frugal people. So I don't think him asking you to save his money for the future was meant for any sort of surprise or something similar to that.
I don't care whether he's a bit frugal or not. I understand the truth now, and that's what I'm going to act on now.
What is this truth you're talking about?
He saved up all his money by both you and your mom so that you guys can leech off of it. You are both his heavy and unnecessary bags. So I'd like the two of you poor losers to leave us, and then after you've made it back home, to cut ties to us. All you both are is two piles of trash that are blocking our marriage from being so amazing.
I get that you're trying to paint both my mom and I as two terrible people by saying things such as that. But have you even taken a moment of your time to talk with Grant about all of this? How about instead of running your mouth around me, you go have a talk with him? I'm sure he'll give you a very good explanation on all of this.
I'll get an explanation from him after all this is over, but first I need the two of you to go home. It's pissing me off that two parasitic relatives of my husband are here right now on this Hawaii trip feeding off of all of our money. How about you guys stop forcing your brother to pay for you guys' vacations and make some money to pay for your own?
We'll head back home, but you're going to regret this, Sandy.
You think I'd actually do something as ridiculous as regret sending you both away for good? Please!
Well then, let's end it here. I don't have time to talk with you about all of this anymore. We'll get our own hotel for tonight, and then head back home tomorrow. My mom and I have had enough of your childish behavior.
Goodbye now! And then, make sure that neither of you ever come back into my husband's and my life ever again, okay?
I think we'll be meeting with Grant every now and again, but in your case, we'll never have to worry about seeing you. Now, have a wonderful rest of your trip.
Where are the two of you right now? Please don't tell me that you both left Hawaii already.
We are just about to take off. What do you want with us now, though?
Grant is furious with me right now. Did you end up saying something to him about last night?
Well, him figuring out about how the two of us are leaving probably pissed him off pretty badly. You ended up using a very selfish and childish reason for wanting the two of us gone. and then told us to both get out of Hawaii and never talk to either of you again, right?
I wasn't being selfish when I told you both that. I just had been worried about my husband's and my money is all. And since him and I still have a long future ahead of us, we have a good reason to be worried, right?
You have no idea what's been going on here.
Huh?
Did you know that the only reason your husband is a lawyer right now is not due to his own dedication? After failing again and again at those exams he was taking, my mom and I went to him and forced him to keep going, even though he wanted to give up. So the reason he wanted a trip like this where he's paying for the both of us is as a thanks for pushing him past his limits and to a point where he could pass those exams.
You're telling me it's because of you and your mom that he's a lawyer? How the hell could you guys help him afford to take so many exams? You still have to live with your mom because you both barely have enough money as it is.
You could say that it's easier for me to get my job from my mom's house. But there's also the fact that I worry about my mom living all alone at her age. So those are the two reasons I'm living with her still. It has nothing to do with money. My mom still has a lot of the money that my father left behind for her after he passed away. And I'm working a pretty well-paying job. I've already made plans to get married to the woman of my dreams here soon. And after that, I'll be having a new house built for all of us. I'm sure you had no idea about any of this, nor about the fact that I'm working for a very popular company, and in a high managerial position there.
Huh? Who is?
I told you that I am. I get that you're trying to put me down by calling me poor and moneyless, but you're not in the position to be calling someone like me poor.
But you're in your 30s now and are still living with your mom and not even married yet. I thought that you were just some moneyless loser living in your room all day.
And before you started to have such baseless and rude ideas like that, you should have talked to me first. And by this point, I'm sure that Grant has already explained all of this to you, right?
Now that you're mentioning it, I feel he did say something about this before. But I thought he was just going on about some crap that didn't really mean anything, so I just ignored him. So is this all for real? You aren't just some moneyless loser?
I have no idea why you think it's totally fine to look down on someone you barely even know and have the balls to make fun of your own family like you have. I could go on over 100 trips to Hawaii if I really wanted to, Sandy. But I never really cared to. Until Grant came to me one day with all the plans laid out for a trip he wanted to take with all of his family. And both my mom and I were happy to see him wanting to take this vacation. And that's why we agreed to go along with him.
I don't care about any of that. I just want to know why none of you guys ever told me that to begin with.
I'm sure that Grant spoke to you about all of this before the trip, Sandy. But he told me that as he talked to you about it, you just sat there staring at your smartphone like you always do, and ignored him. Is that right?
Huh?
Well, it doesn't matter now. It's just a waste of time continuing this conversation with you. We are all aware now that after this, the only thing you've ever really cared about regarding my brother is his money. And we understand that very well, Sandy. I'm sure he's even aware of that now, right?
What are you talking about? Why would I only be after his money? Are you trying to make fun of me or something now? I am not after any of Grant's money like you think I am. I was just concerned that you and your mom were after his money, and that's why I stepped in to stop you both.
Stepping in to stop his own family? Why would he need to stop us when we already have our own money? These reasons you're giving me right now aren't lining up too well, Sandy.
I did all of this for Grant's sake, for our future's sake. So why are you all attacking me over it now?
Sandy, what do you think about calming down just a tad bit? When you think about all of this with a level head, you can see that what you've done had nothing to do with Grant.
Why are you all not going to believe me? I made sure to think this all through before acting.
Alright. Go ahead and keep saying that about all of this then. But when it comes to anyone else looking at the situation, we'll all feel as though there was a different, far more selfish motive behind all you've done. You have been wanting to use up all of his money for yourself, and saw both my mom and I as being in the way of that. That's why you got rid of us, right? You hated the idea of him using his money, not even your money, to take us out for a treat to thank us, right? That right there is you acting selfishly about something that has nothing to do with you, right? If you really cared about Grant, you would have never said anything about what he was doing.
I'm sure you just see it all that way because you don't understand us. But both Grant and I have things going on of our own. And I bet he's going to understand why I did all of this when I explain it to him.
I'm sure that's going to be the case, but...
Huh? What the hell does that mean?
Grant went and had a look at the transaction history of that card he gave you to use.
Huh? Grant went and did that? Why would he do something like that? He shouldn't have had any reason to look at that until next month at the earliest.
He got a notification saying that the card had reached its spending limit. And so he had a look thinking it might have been stolen by someone. But he was mistaken. Because when he looked at everything, he realized you've been using the family card on all your spending. You've been going to all kinds of shopping malls and spending thousands and thousands on all your favorite brands. Buying so much that you went over your spending limit on that card. And just like that, we understood everything.
Are you telling me Grant was the one that saw all of that? You have to be lying, right? That's not good for me at all. Where is Grant at right now? I feel that he's left the hotel or something right now.
I can understand why he'd want to be on his own right now. Being alone in this world is a whole lot better than being with a parasite like you.
Are you calling me the parasite?
Are we talking about anyone else right now? You've been wanting all of his money for yourself, so you hate the idea of him spending it on anything that doesn't relate to you. And that's why you viewed my mom and I as being piles of trash in your guys' way, right? When you have a look at a situation like that, the only way we can describe you and your actions are that you're only caring about his money and nothing else.
No, I told you you're wrong about that. I didn't mean to do any of this for a reason like that. I mean, when I have things that I want when going on vacation, I buy them. What's so bad about that? Everyone does that, right? This was supposed to be a trip for the two of us anyway.
I'm going to be honest with you, that this trip was not meant for you. And what you're explaining to us now is not anything my mom and I care about. If Grant is okay with you spending all his money, then that's something you and him can agree on. But, as far as we could tell, you've gone way too far. Asking us not to use any more of his money and then sending us back home? All because you've been using his money up and even maxed out his family card? I think it's totally right for my brother to be upset with you now. Don't you? If you were really doing any of this for his sake, then you would have never spent that much money on things for only yourself.
Kent, how about we both settle down a bit and talk this all through?
My mom and I, and even Grant, are all calm right now. The only one that's having a bit of a panic attack right now is you, right?
Are things like the plans for this vacation at least going to still go as planned? I'm not sure where everyone has run off to, but how about we all meet up somewhere and enjoy our time here? We are all in Hawaii after all.
Right now, all of us are no longer in the mood to be on this vacation. And it looks as though Grant is already on his way out.
Huh?
It's all because of you that this whole family vacation that he had spent a long time planning has been ruined so quickly. But at least through all of his effort, we finally had a chance to learn what the real Sandy is like. I'm sure he's happy about that at least, right?
Huh, what does that mean? That doesn't sound like something good to me at all.
I think it's going to be very difficult for you two to continue as husband and wife after what's happened here. So, enjoy the rest of this trip by yourself, as it will most likely be your last time being here. The only one that was ever a parasite to Grant was you all along, Sandy.
And right after that, Grant sent a message to Sandy saying that he was going to get a divorce from her before going back home. He left her in Hawaii all by herself, and this move ruined her mental state for the rest of her time she was supposed to be enjoying there. And even after making it back home, Grant's mind had not changed about wanting to leave Sandy, and soon after he was able to get the divorce. As for that card that she ended up maxing out at $40,000, she was forced to have to pay for it, which of course she could not. She even tried running to Kent and his mom asking for their help in paying it off, but they just ignored her and left. As of right now, she's working hard to find herself a job, and hopefully she can do just that, as the sooner she finds a job, the sooner she can pay that card off without it getting more out of hand.
Hey, you old hag! When the hell are you going to move out? I'm sick and tired of living under the same roof as you. I don't want to have to see your ugly face every day. It's unbearable.
What do you want now, Mia? Don't you think you're being a little rude to me? You're an adult. People expect you to have some manners.
You're one to talk. You don't have any manners yourself. I know that you only married my father for his money.
What in the world are you talking about? Where did you get a crazy idea like that? You shouldn't make such accusations without any proof. By the way, are you eating at home tonight?
There's no way that I'm eating any food that you prepared.
Okay, whatever. I wasn't planning on cooking for you in the first place. You never share your plans with me, so it's hard for me to prepare meals for you. You need to study for your college entrance exams. Shouldn't you be at home preparing?
You're not my mother. Don't tell me what to do. I don't respect you, and I never will. When I was younger, I stupidly thought that you were my mother, but not anymore.
Ugh, what changed? You used to be so loving and adorable. I miss the old you. I've only been living with you for 5 years, but you've changed a lot in this time. When I first met you, you were only 12. You were such a sweet little girl.
You stole my father's money. He's broke because of you.
I did no such thing.
He's asking me to get a job and earn some money to help him out. This is all your fault. You spend all of his money. My father tells me that he doesn't have enough money to pay for my school. He should have never married you. You ruined our lives. And I'm not going to forgive you. Ever.
I don't know what your father told you, but I certainly didn't marry him for his money, I assure you. If I wanted to marry for money, I would have found someone wealthier. You actually don't know how much I do for this family. I'm not the enemy here.
You can't fool me. I know you're the one that bankrupted us. My father told me not to believe your lies. We're not even related. Of course I would believe my father over you. I want you to move out of our house and stay out of our lives.
I can't believe that your father would call me a liar. That's very hurtful. You shouldn't be blaming me for any of this. I'm on your side here. You shouldn't take me for granted.
Why in the world would I believe the garbage coming out of your mouth?
Fine, then talk to your father. There's no point in us talking if you're not going to believe a word that I say. What were you thinking? How could you do this to me?
I don't know what you're talking about. By the way, I'm broke. Did you leave money for me at the house like I asked you to?
I told you over and over again that I can't let you spend our money so carelessly. That's why I didn't leave you any money at the house.
What am I supposed to do with no money, though?
You need to be more careful with your spending. This is all your fault.
Why are you mad at me?
I'm mad at you because you told your daughter that I stole all of your money, which is completely untrue. How could you say that when I'm the one paying for everything? Mia thinks it's my fault that we're not able to pay for her tuition. She's also angry with me because she needs to get a job to pay for her living expenses.
She's going to be a college student soon, and it's about time she learned to earn some money. She's already been accepted into a college, which means that she's not busy studying anymore.
It just sounds like you're going to make her work and that you'll use her money yourself. I mean, that's what you're doing with me. Mia is your daughter. You should be the one taking care of her, not the other way around.
Shut up! You don't need to lecture me about how to raise my daughter. I need some money. We're married. As my wife, you should give it to me.
You act like I'm a complete stranger to Mia, but I've been raising her all these years too. You're being very unfair. Have it your way then. I don't care anymore. I'll just think about myself from now on.
I don't understand why you're getting so upset with me. Just give me the money that I need, and I'll leave you alone. I need to be somewhere early tomorrow morning, so I need the money before then.
Okay, whatever. I need to go now.
My father and I don't want you to live with us anymore. Pack your bags and leave, bitch.
What did you just call me, Mia? You need to watch the filthy words coming out of your mouth.
You're my stepmother. I don't have to listen to a thing you say. We don't need you in our lives anymore. I don't want to see you ever again.
I can't believe that you're doing this to me after all that I've done for you and your father. I'm the one who's been providing all the money for this family all these years. I guess your father failed to mention that.
I filed the divorce papers.
What?
So there's no reason for you to continue to live with us. You're no longer welcome at our house.
I never imagined that my 18-year-old stepdaughter would do something so outrageous.
I don't need a stepmom that's gonna live off of my father's money.
I have a decent job, you know. What kind of lies has your father been feeding you?
You used up all of my father's money and he's broke because of you. How could you do that to your own husband? I might not even be able to afford college now because of what you did. I never want to see your ugly face again.
What did I ever do to you? I'm the one that's been taking care of our family. You're going to regret kicking me out like this. I guess your father was taking all the credit. I'll leave you alone as you wish. Goodbye, Mia.
I wish that my father had never met you. You took 5 good years away from us. You were only after his money. You never loved either of us. Have a nice life without us. Goodbye!
I will. Your father is the one that's going to have trouble living without me.
How could you say that? One vicious lie after the other.
I guess the divorce papers that we had signed previously came in handy. I can now get rid of your lousy father.
We're ecstatic to have you out of our lives.
Let me just tell you the truth before I go.
You mean more lies?
Your father is the one that's unemployed. I have a job that pays me well. He's the one that's been using me for my money. He uses my hard-earned money to buy himself whatever he wants. But I put up with it because he was my husband.
I can't believe that you're trying to blame all this on my father. You're evil. My father would never be so irresponsible. You don't want to take the blame for your failed marriage, so you're trying to make my father look like the bad guy.
You just don't seem to understand that your father has been lying to you this entire time. I feel sorry for you. It's not your fault that your father is the way that he is. I've actually been wanting to leave him for a long time, so you did me a favor by filing those divorce papers.
I see. I'm glad it worked out for the both of us then. I thought that you'd be begging my father to take you back. You're not as desperate as I thought.
Actually, I fell out of love with your father a long time ago, especially when I realized how irresponsible he was with his spending. I asked for a divorce many times in the past, but he was the one who didn't want to get divorced. It makes sense, seeing as he was living off of my money. I actually hired a divorce lawyer recently. Thank you for helping me get divorced. I've been waiting for this day for such a long time.
I had no idea that you had a divorce lawyer. I always thought that my father was the one that wanted to leave you. Aren't you the one that's living off of my father's money?
It looks like your father deceived you well. Now that I'm no longer married to your father, I have no obligation to financially support either of you. The mortgage was under my name, but I transferred it to your father's name, seeing that I won't be living with you two anymore. You and your father will be responsible for paying the remaining mortgage.
I had no idea that you were the one paying for it in the first place. This must be your sick idea of a joke.
You don't need to believe me. I don't care, and it doesn't concern me. Your father will be up to his eyes in bills. I wish you both the best of luck.
I'm sure that my father will have no issues in paying the bills now that you're out of his life. I mean, you're the one that spent all of his money in the first place.
Your father is unemployed and addicted to gambling. I'm fairly certain that he won't be able to pay his bills.
So, you're not making all this up?
Talk to your father if you don't believe me. I'll pack up my things and move out just like you wanted me to. Thanks again for filing those divorce papers. I'm not sure how long you'll be able to continue living in the house. The mortgage payments are not cheap.
You don't need to worry about us. I have my father to protect me.
Believe what you want, but your house will be taken from you if you can't pay the mortgage. Enjoy life with your father.
I don't understand why he ever married you. I'm glad to have you out of our lives.
I only stayed with your father because I was worried about you. If I really wanted to, I could have divorced him, but I thought that you and I were on good terms. I was worried about what would happen to you if I left your father.
So, you're saying that you stayed married to my father for me?
I didn't want your father to ruin your life. But then you turned on me and kicked me out, so I have no intention of helping you anymore. I considered paying your tuition at the very least, but I don't even want to do that after the way you treated me.
I had no idea that you were paying my tuition.
Well, now you know. I paid for all your school-related expenses. I even paid for your cram school. I was even ready to pay for your college education.
So, my father didn't pay any of it? What was he doing this entire time?
He was gambling all of my money away. He also liked to go drinking with his friends.
My father isn't like that at all.
If you say so. I'm going to go now. I wish that things hadn't ended up so badly between us, but it did, and I have to accept that and move on.
Well, this isn't the ending that I wanted either. We used to get along. My father tricked me. This isn't my fault. I don't know who to believe anymore. I don't think that my father is the monster that you describe him to be.
I can understand why you want to see the best in your parents. It was the same for me. But my parents were lousy, and I came to accept that eventually. That's why I was so keen on helping you. I never thought you'd treat me like this, though. You don't deserve my help. Goodbye, Mia. Let's go back to being strangers.
Please don't say that. Why don't we all sit down and talk about this? I'll come home this evening, so let's sort this out together.
It's too late for that, Mia.
Why not? I finally know the truth about my father.
Your father and I are divorced now. There's nothing left to talk about. I think you should start worrying about how you're going to pay for your college tuition now that you don't have me to rely on.
What are you saying?
If you still want to go to college, you're going to have to earn the money yourself or ask your father to help you out. Although, I wouldn't count on your father for the money.
So, you're saying that I won't be able to go to college unless I find a way to pay for it?
That's right. I was already working at your age, so I'm sure that it won't be difficult for you either. I paid for my own tuition. Good luck with everything. It might be tough at first because you've never had to work for anything in your life.
So you're just gonna leave me to deal with this all on my own then? I thought that you were nicer than this.
I can say the same about you. I've contributed to your family for over 5 years now. I've done my part. Now it's your turn. You should be thanking me if anything. You're the one that kicked me out. Deal with it. Good luck taking care of your lousy father. True to her word, Melanie packed up her things and moved out of the house, leaving Mia alone with her father. Mia never saw Melanie again. Mia asked her father for his help in paying her college tuition, but he laughed in her face. Her father was furious with Mia for filing the divorce papers without his permission. Mia had no choice but to get a job, and she gave up her dreams of going to college. Things got so bad for Mia that she ended up leaving her final year of high school. Mia regretted not believing Melanie and had wished she had treated Melanie better. Now, Mia's living in a shitty apartment with her good-for-nothing father. Mia goes to work every day wondering why she had made so many mistakes in her life. Melanie is enjoying being single again and is stress-free because she doesn't have to worry about her ex-husband taking money from her anymore.